I'm here! I'm so sorry. The second I hit go live, my tissue box ran dry. And if there's one thing I learned yesterday, it was that I cannot be at my writing desk without tissues. Literally, the second we stopped editing, stopped doing the outlines for edit. Yeah, the outline for edits. Words are hard. Literally the next chapter when I started up again made me start tearing up, so that happened. We got Key with first today. Key, how's it going? I hope today's better than yesterday. Let's scroll up. We got Peter here with an appointment to see me. Peter, how's it going? We got Faded Stardust. We got Misfit. Misfit is here. Misfit is the one who made all the lovely emotes that you see both on the screen and in the chat area. It's Key's wife. It's Misfit's husband. Hubsband. OG non-snowy forest in the evening. Nice. I'm assuming you want the green forest and not the, fall one. Welcome in, Sardonisms. Wish I was sleepy, wish I wasn't working, wish I could go to bed. Literally, the first thing I did this morning after I got up was be like, I want to go back to bed. Pi is here on a 120 stream streak. Pi always keeping us hydrated. I have good news. My surgery is a go for Tuesday. Good. So you won't see me next week, but when I come back the week after, I'll be the new and improved version. I have what might be good news for you, although no one else is going to view this as good news. I might not stream next week. I'm expecting to be a little under the weather next week, and I don't know if I'll be able to fit in a stream. I might try to do one on Tuesday, but I might not be able to, so your streak might stay intact. It might be gone the same amount of time, for different reasons. Outline implies inline. Y'all can go skating if you want. Oh my goodness. Misfit, how's it going? Peter, how's it going? Who did I not say how's it going to? Sardonisms, Pi, how's it going? I hope you end up feeling okay. At some point I won't, honestly. It's lady stuff, so at some point my uterus is going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to end up on the couch. There'll be probably a lot of Boston Legal watching. And then and then eventually I'll get better and I'll feel better and I'll come back. But hopefully the lead up won't be too bad. It's for sure an improved day. I'm glad to hear it. I know you had a rough one yesterday. The comforting arms of James Spader. It's so funny because I feel like I've discovered that, like, one of the things that they do on that show, like, I think one of the purposes of having James Spader on that show is that they just give him this, like, Shakespearean style monologue in every episode. Usually it's a case. Like, usually he's doing some kind of legal case and he does this massive speech. And it's amazing to watch. Like, it's just truly artful to watch. And then he, like, wins or he convinces people of something or whatever. And then there was literally an episode the other day where he was helping his secretary because she had gotten, like, taken in by a... that means it's been a month since the last one, right? What is time? Yeah, sadly, it's been about a month since the last one. Every 4 weeks, unfortunately. But yeah, so he was helping his secretary who had been taken in by, like, a credit card company, like a skeevy bank, which there's tons of. There were tons of, at least back then, at this time in the US, when the show was made. I think they've regulated a little bit more now. And he just let this skeevy guy, go on and on for, like, hours, and then finally he delivered this amazing speech, and afterwards his secretary was like, that was the hottest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, it kind of was. But it seems like the show is designed around, okay, what epic speech with big words talking about legal moral implications can we have James Spader do this week? And then sometimes they like randomly zoom in on his hands when he's doing, there's a lot of like random zooming in on hands in this show. People will just be in the middle of saying something and the camera will randomly zoom in on their hands for like 2 seconds. It's bonkers. If they come at least every 6 hours, that would be awful. Every so often I get a little bit of leaky for a couple days and that's all. Yeah, my doctor won't let me have one because I get ocular migraines, so she won't let me have any form of hormonal, the word I'm looking for, birth control, unfortunately. The fact James Spader hasn't been either a Trek captain or a villain by now is shocking. Cast that man. James Spader is something else, man. He's such a good actor. It was really funny, too, because in one of the episodes I watched last night, I also, not quite as badly as Key, but I just felt totally drained at the end of yesterday because I went through that whole book, the penultimate Celestial Serenade book. I didn't find the disaster part that I wrote down that I was gonna find. Like, I never found a part where I felt like I lost my character threads. So now I'm worried that's in the last book, which is bad. But I went through that whole book, and not only did it never turn into a disaster, it utterly broke me because I just was so emotionally stunned by my own work. And I was so tired afterwards that I just went and watched 2 episodes of Boston Legal and then passed out for the night. But one of the episodes I watched, William Shatner's character someone had given him a flip phone, and he opened the flip phone, and it made the communicator sound from Star Trek, and I was so tickled by that. It was so cute. I get ocular migraines, so those are the kind of migraine where it kind of happens in your eye, and you see like these really like jagged rainbows. If you've had one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've never had one, you're gonna be like, the fuck is Megan talking about? The first time Shatner, I mean, his character didn't react. I assume it was planned, you know, by the editing team, but it was cute. So yeah, I see like it'll start as like a pinpoint, kind of like when you get your picture taken and the echo of the flash doesn't go away for a while. It'll start like that, and then it slowly grows and spreads out across your vision. Usually it only happens in one eye at a time, and then when it gets to the edge of your eye, it eventually fades away, and then you get a really bad headache for 45 minutes, and it's not fun. I get those, and apparently if you are on hormonal birth control, when you have one of those, it increases your risk of a stroke. Minusculely, but enough that my doctor is like, I don't want to do that to you. So, no birth controls for me. Getting all the internals yanked out on Tuesday. No more uterus tubes or ovaries in a few days. Stardust, Faded Stardust, I am happy for you. Honestly, the migraines themselves aren't too bad. I don't get the kind of migraines, like our friend Joe gets really bad migraines. But it's not too bad because usually you see the visual aura before you get the headache. So I can usually either take an ibuprofen or go lay down in the dark, which helps. And it's not a really bad headache. It's not the like nausea-inducing, can't move. Sometimes I do need to lay in a dark room for a little while for the pain to ease. But it's not like people get way worse migraines than I do. But apparently if I was taking a hormonal birth control while that happened, it would put me at a higher risk. In the uterus, we all uter fam. In the uterus, we are united. What a weird thing to say. We don't want you to have a stroke. Me either. So I don't have any form of birth control. I mean, any form of hormonal birth control. I was at my writing club. Why do you still go there, Peter? And I was chatting to some friends, and one of them mentioned they were on their red tide or some wording like that. And one of the other lasses was like, I don't know what that means. How could you not know what that means? And I was like, even I know what that means. And then I immediately felt guilty, but the lass in question laughed and said it was okay, which was lovely. I don't ever want to hurt or embarrass anyone. I'm just sassy. Listen, I feel like if a woman didn't get that, she wasn't paying attention. I have a history of migraines that got better when I grew up, but I've been having quite a few headaches of late. A bit better now that I have new glasses, but still happening. I hope they clear them up for you, sardonisms. Like I hope well, I hope they go away and never come back is what I hope, but I know that doesn't happen magically, so I hope that they're able to find out what's causing them and help you get rid of them. Our friend Joe is on, like, year 3 of trying to figure out what to do. They've never been able to figure out where his migraines come from. And he's had, I think, just about every kind of treatment, and they still haven't really sorted him out. So, you know, the trade-off, I guess, is I get bad cramps once a month and it sucks, but I've learned to live with it. I have my vegetable days. I have my, sit on the couch and binge watch whatever I'm watching at the time days. I need to, catch up on Bridgerton, though. I've been informed that Bridgerton's new season is completing. I need to catch up on that at some point. A former friend once told me I'm getting a visit from Aunt Flo, and I was like, what? And they go, the red one. And I stared blankly. And somehow the doctors who evaluated me in high school still didn't cotton on that I was autistic AF. I might still be salty about that. I feel like we know a lot more about autism now than when we were younger. It's kind of interesting because, you know, with Ghost Pepper being a teacher, he's talking all the time about how they manage classrooms now and how they manage, what do they call them now? I think they're called, like, personal learning plans or something. Independent learning plans, IEP, I think is what they're called now. Like, he talks a lot about how they manage them and how students get them and, like, how they encourage parents to have their children be tested so that they can get an IEP. And it's so vastly different compared to when we were young. And they just assumed everyone was a problem child. And they were just being stubborn or they were just acting out. And it's like, no, we actually know how brains work now. I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my mid-30s, so I feel you. I always hesitate to call my experience trauma, but I sure as hell didn't have any good responses to those memories, and I sure as hell avoid going to doctors until I get nice bullied into it. Listen, I have so many friends who have had bad doctor experiences, especially in the US. It's mind-blowing to me that people have to fight so hard just to get a doctor to take them seriously. The doctors who evaluated in high school said with a straight face that I couldn't be autistic because I could tell jokes. Oh my god. Meanwhile, my tennis teammates were unnerved when they tried to tell me jokes because I would stare at them blankly for a second and then laugh, which is because I had to repeat the joke back to myself to get it. Was once told I couldn't be because I could make eye contact. Yes, because I forced myself. Thing is, depending on where you fall on the scale, some people can, asterisk, I'm about to say some general things that are specific to individual cases, and I understand that everything to do with brains is very personal and individual, so this is not meant to be taken as a everyone everything statement. Some people, depending on where they fall on the scale, can learn the social graces that don't naturally come to them in order to, I guess we would say, pass. And I guess I think that's what high functioning is supposed to be, is when you can essentially learn to interact with people in a way that they can't tell that you're autistic, even if you are. So it's true that some people can learn to do that, but it doesn't change the fact that their mind works differently and that they have to put effort into that kind of contact or that kind of communication. And they shouldn't have to fight with people to get them to understand that it's a struggle for them. Like, if you struggle with something, you shouldn't have to fight with someone to get them to believe you that it's a struggle for you to do that. But I feel like, especially when we were younger, people didn't really understand what autism was or how it worked or what was related to it. I feel like we have such a wider grasp of it now, that we understand, brain physiology and psychology a lot better. But it is frustrating for the people who had those experiences, even if it's changing and even if it's changing slowly. Like, it's shitty that you had to have those experiences. Trying to tell the psychiatrist that denied even the possibility of a SAD fact. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That was what I was getting to, was like, you shouldn't have to fight with someone to take you seriously just because you can pass. In Scotland, we have a government scheme that issues free sanitary products to whoever needs them, and they're just in toilet facilities with zero questions asked. That's how it should be, man. As someone who respects those who own the uterus, I respect this choice and wish her happy and joy for all. It really should be a thing everywhere. It really should be a universal thing. I sucked at eye contact and they still said I wasn't autistic. It's too late to report their asses, but fuck them, I hope someone did. I also, I want to believe that their bullshit came back to bite them in the ass someday, even though you probably had moved on with your life by then. I had to mask and try to raise myself to the level of the normals all my life. It's only in the last 10 to 15 years of my life that I'm really exploring who I am and uninstalling things that have been forced on me. I'm, again, sorry that you had that experience, Peter. If you can make it through high school with good grades, people will bend over backwards to not notice you're super autistic and ADHD. Man, this is one of those times where I'm thinking about how different the schooling system is in the US versus Canada these days. They've definitely gone in different directions. I'm only in office one day a month now, but the bathrooms of the office have sanitary products plus little single-dose packets of all the common over-the-cane painkillers plus toothbrushes. That's amazing! You work for such a good company. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too long on stuff that's obviously painful for some members of our chat, but I do just want to say, like, if you had that experience when you were young, I'm sorry. I know it's not my fault. I know I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I'm sorry that society is shitty and that it takes us stupidly forever to realize how things actually work. And then when we do realize how things actually work, we stupidly resist change because we're stupid. But I'm sorry that you went through that, but know that here in this space you are appreciated for who you are and you never have to hide it. I hope that we eventually someday live in a world where nobody has to experience that. I'm sure there are, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but unfortunately, I'm sure there's still autistic kids going through this. I'm sure there are parts of the world, even, the US and Canada, where kids are struggling to get a diagnosis that they need to be taken seriously. And I know for a fact, because Ghost has told me, that there are parents that resist getting their kids tested because they don't want their kids to have a stigma associated with them. But then meanwhile, without a diagnosis, they can't get an IEP. They can't get the extra help that they need from the school because you're legally not allowed to give it unless the kid has an IEP. So I know that there are people out there who are still struggling with this today. I'm sure it's better than it was 10, 20 years ago, but I'm sure that there are still kids that are struggling with it, and it sucks. I hope you live someday in a society that doesn't happen to anyone. But until we get there, just know that you're loved, you're supported, and if you're upset about what happened to you when you were younger, that's valid. You have every right to be. The U.S. is certainly going in a direction. It is certainly going in a direction. If you recall the thing I sent you about the fella, he was one of the big enforcers of it all, which is one of many elements I'm unpacking. I kind of figured, Peter, I kind of figured it had something to do with that. There's also a snack room that's stocked as though everyone is actually in the office at least half of the time. Dang. Beta Stardust, I love you too. I love you all. Genuinely. Just have to viciously normalize it everywhere and make it not an oddity. Honestly, I think, and I've said this so many times, I think we should just do away with the idea of a normal person. Like, normal is a baseline, and I get that this is a medical thing. Because we went through this with my thyroid. Hang on, let me pause for a minute and caffeinate. I get that this is a medical thing, and we went through this with my thyroid, where my endocrinologist would explain to me that there's a baseline that they consider normal, but it's a range. It's not a set, like, this is normal for everyone. It's a range between this number and this number, and we want you to be somewhere between this number and this number, and that will be considered baseline. That will be considered normal. And in medical terms, and psychology is a branch of medicine, they want to get everything into a specific baseline because it makes it easier to treat things. It makes it easier to measure things. And I get that. I get that that's where a lot of this comes from. But we never acknowledge that that baseline is a range. That even people who are neurotypical don't necessarily all think and act the same way. We are not an army of drones that all think of things in the exact same way. Any debate will prove that. So why do we have this idea that there's a default baseline that normal people adhere to? Every brain is different, and every body is different, and every brain is going to function. Even a neurotypical brain is going to function slightly differently from any other neurotypical brain. And so when you start to get into what we consider to be the outliers that aren't baseline, then those fluctuations start to get bigger. If instead of trying to make everyone act according to the baseline, we just let everyone act according to what feels the most comfortable and learned as a society, like, yes, I understand that there are things that are unacceptable and that, you know, it is sometimes harder for people who are autistic to learn how to interact with society according to society's laws, and that wouldn't necessarily change if the things I'm suggesting were to change, but we would at least be better at recognizing it and be better at helping those people. And instead of trying to force everyone into the same boring gray box, we could at least be a riot of color and accept the differences in people and accept that not everything has to be handled the exact same way or done the exact same way, as long as the result is the result that we want. And I feel like I say this all the time, and I feel like society is just like, no. But, like, wouldn't it just be amazing if you were handed a task and you were allowed to just find a way to do that task that worked for you, and you didn't have to worry about anything except the end result, and people being like, that's awesome, this is exactly what we wanted. Like, why does it matter if you go through all the steps in the same order? Or, like, if you're having a conversation with someone who doesn't care about small talk, like me, why does it matter? Like, you can skip that part. You can just go straight to the meat and potatoes of the conversation, and you don't have to worry about the part that society says you got to do first because whatever reason. I will never understand why we cling to everything has to be done this specific way because we've always done it that way. That is so dumb. But anyway, I don't know how we fix society, but there we go. That's my rant. There's a whole generation called the Lost Girls because for decades girls were underdiagnosed with autism because autism in girls tends to present differently. I identify as non-binary, but close enough. Still hate those doctors. Totally fair. I know those parents think they're being good to their kids by refusing to get a diagnosis, but they're doing more harm than good and just don't realize it. Oh, the teachers try. They'd try. Because like I said, you can't get an IEP without a diagnosis. You have to have an official diagnosis to get an IEP. And legally, the school is not allowed to offer anything that they offer for IEP students unless the student has an IEP. So even if the teachers know and can tell that a kid falls into the category of needing that assistance, they legally cannot offer it unless they have a diagnosis. Going in a direction is like when a legal analyst says that's a choice. 100%. I'm almost all worried about me labeling, and I'm just like, Mom, I knew I was weird. You didn't actually protect me from anything. Well, that's the thing too. You know when you're struggling, like, and the other kids know it too. It's not like having a name for it is gonna change anything. I'd bet in a lot of cases it made things more difficult because I didn't know why I was seen as different because my mother, who knew autism was in our family, refused to even acknowledge the existence of their own divergence. That's rough, man. Speaking of brains working different, there's a streamer called Sweet Anita who has Tourette's so bad it looks like a parody of Tourette's. Like, her tics respond to her tics and say super offensive stuff. And she's a streamer because she literally cannot do a normal job because of the stuff that will come out of her mouth. Yesterday, boyfriend put on a video of her going through the alphabet. And she talked about how she visualizes what her Tourette's is doing. Like, the thought starts following the path it's supposed to go on, then it goes the wrong way or splashes into the area around it or something, which is really interesting to listen to. That is fascinating. I'm glad that she's able to find something that she can do. Because imagine in the world before the internet how shitty it would have been to try and be a functional human without having something that you can turn to and skip all the middlemen and just go straight to the people. That's like I recently, this is gonna be me, this is a me old moment, but I recently learned about, I think it's Iron Mouse, is her name, and she is a streamer, I think from the Philippines. And she has an autoimmune disorder that forces her to be, like, completely isolated from everyone. I think she even has to be isolated from her family. And she makes a living as a streamer. She has a whole community that she's able to interact with. Mad Lad, hello! She has a whole community that she's able to interact with. She's a brilliant singing voice. And she's new to me. I know she's been around on the internet, I think since the pandemic. I think she really got big. But to me, it's such a heartwarming thing that people who would otherwise essentially have to be closed off from society are able to find communities and are able to interact with communities in today's world. Because 10 years ago, maybe. 20 years ago, probably not. Like, when I was young, those people definitely would have been, why do we not have Inseri today? Siri, where you be? Siri not in here today? Siri bot taking a nap. Yeah, usually Siri gets them instantly. Haven't actually seen her outside of clips and highlights, but the clips I've seen I have mad respect for her. Same. I've seen some of her music videos. I've never really watched one of her streams. Probably the kind of stuff she does isn't the kind of stuff that I would, like, watch. But I just think it's wonderful that she has a community and that she can have a community, because without the internet, without a place like Twitch, I mean, she would be locked in a box and she would never be able to interact with anyone, and that's sad. That makes me so sad. I think that we're changing as a society. We're learning, but it's slow. Social change is slow. And I think that, you know, it's great that things are better than they were when I was a kid. I think that every day. I definitely would not want to go back to the world that we lived in when I was a teenager, because that world, that society sucked. I watched shows from that time period and I'm like, this time period sucked. But I also feel like for the people who need that change the most, it's not yet enough. And it's slow. It's so slow. And we're asking people to put up with a lot and be really understanding and put up with a lot more than they really should have to put up with while that social change takes place. And I mean, this could balloon into so many other areas. Like I'm probably gonna end this conversation here before we get too heavy, but like not just people who are not neurotypical, but also, you know, people whose gender norms are slightly different or whose sexual orientation is slightly different, who have also had to put up with a lot of bullshit from society while it slowly ticks around. And while some people kick and scream and try to drag us back into the dark ages by denying that certain things exist and deserve to be protected and respected, like this conversation could have so many more parameters. So yeah, I think that social change is happening, and I think that's good, but I think it's slow, and I think that sucks. I think that sucks for the people who have to deal with it day to day, and I wish that I could make it better, and I know that the only thing I can do is be here to support the people who need it and give them a space where they can be themselves authentically without having to mask or having to hide, and hope that someday that space is every space. That's all I'm gonna say about it, but that's how I feel. Back in the day before it became illegal, a lot of people with all sorts of physical and mental differences would make their living by being in carnival freak shows. Yep. It was definitely exploitative, but they didn't have anything else. Once they couldn't anymore, there was a noticeable uptick in people being admitted to asylums. So we're in a much better place now. 100%. But I wish we were in an even better place. And I think I'm not alone in that. I think probably everyone in chat right now also wishes that. That was one of the reasons why, honestly, looking back now, I can see how even this show was problematic. But that was why Star Trek was such a big thing for me when I was younger. And it's like, through the lens of a 40-year-old and a changing society, I can look at the original Star Trek and I can look at the Next Generation and I can say, yeah, like, this was trying to depict a world in which things were good for everyone and it failed in this way and that way. And man, in the original Star Trek, there was a whole episode devoted to how women couldn't be captains, so a woman tried to take over Kirk's body so she could be captain. And that didn't prove that women were crazy or anything. You know, I can look through the lens and say, you know, there were problematic things about this show, especially in the background behind the scenes. But for me, I think that that idea, that promise of a society where we can all come together and we can all work to build something without fighting over how we should do it or who should be involved with it or how you should live your life, that promise to me was like the shining beacon of Star Trek. Like, that was what Star Trek gave us, was the idea of a society that isn't caught up on all this bullshit and can do something better. And I genuinely hope that we build that society someday. Deep Space Nine, I think I told you my opinion on Deep Space Nine, Key. I think you know. I think you know. I think you know. Let's do a hydrate. Let's get started on focus mode for the day. Hopefully we didn't go too deep and dark for people. Man, it's Thursday. But thank you for letting me get on my soapbox for a hot minute. I almost did get into DS9 for a hot minute until they killed Jadzia, and then I was like, nah. Listen, that's what I'm saying, Peter. The show has its flaw. All the shows have their flaws. Voyager did not age well. let's let's be honest. Voyager did not age well. We not only let you get on your soapbox, we hold your hand to steady you while you got up on there. And I appreciate the fuck out of that, you guys. Like, I did not have as bad an experience as a lot of you did in school because, you know, I didn't have autism or ADHD. A lot of my, I guess it's, what's, I can't think of the word. I can think of neurotypical, but I can't think of the other word for some reason. Neurodivergent has been just not in my brain today. Most of my neurodivergent stuff has arrived in my adulthood. Things that have developed later as results of other things that happened in my childhood. So I didn't have those struggles in schools. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna shout out and support, because I had friends who struggled, and I know they struggled, and you know, and I was the shoulder they would cry on when they struggled. And my husband is a teacher, and there's still kids that are struggling with that stuff today. So I will happily shout from the mountaintop about how we need to change. Happily. If there's nobody left on Earth saying fuck Rick Berman, then I am in my grave. Peter. I would 100% give up all 3 seasons of Picard so we could get 1 season of Star Trek Janeway. I think they are making a new Voyager show. There's been a lot of talk about it. But I am going to talk about how we are about to start clicky-clackying. So today we are writing, hopefully we're on the other side of the halfway point of this My Little Domerin story. We'll see how that develops, because I'm not entirely sure what is exactly going to happen in the next part of this story, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna take a quick cheeky break, as usual, before we get settled in for 3 rounds of 30-minute focus sessions with 15-minute breaks in between. If you would like to redeem a spirit companion, an activity, or location, we do, I believe, have 1 location. I think it's this one. I think this is the one that, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think this is the one that Faded Stardust requested. But we've got, there's a train outer space background. Yes, there is. We can have that for our second sprint, and we can even head over to the train if we should like. I think we'll have to stay in the bedroom for the first one because this particular background is not on the train, but we can pop over to the train and be in outside space. Or we can just put on the static train space background here in the bedroom as well. But I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to remind you to get up, stretch, move around, grab something to eat and or drink. You know, clear your head from all the stuff we've been talking about today, because it's... No, that's okay. It was, Faded Stardust redeemed it, like, right at the beginning of stream, so it's been sitting in the queue for a while. But yeah, we'll definitely go to space next sprint. Clear your head from all the heavy stuff we've been talking about this morning. And let's get back to the place of chill vibes, so that we can get some clicky clackies in. I will be right back to get us going. Amaya's here, and Amaya too! Might have spent the morning gathering more book covers for the reading journal. I'm just having fun decorating at this point. Heck yeah, Sardonisms. I'm glad. Amaya, how's it going? Do you have a day off yet? It seems like you've been working so hard. Need to check if I have a nice dot grid journal left for when I run out of pages here, because it's not going to take much longer at this rate. Fingers and toes crossed. You've got one that'll pass. 4 hydrates to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. A 1. A 2. A 3. And 1 to grow on. Sunday. Had a long night. Don't know how to reply to someone's message. Oh no, Amaya. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't believe you have to wait until Sunday to get a day off. It feels like you've been working... It feels like you've been working since Monday. You have a 6-day stretch before you even get a single day off? No. I don't see any activitas. I do think I actually have Domerin's avatar on right now, which is kind of hilarious. Let's do thinking. I would do the meditating. I feel like Domerin would not do that. It's not very Domerin-y. Sunday and Monday. Oh, okay, I thought you worked on Monday. I'm realizing now that I don't stream on Monday, so that was a silly assumption on my part. But you work so hard, Amaya. You deserve more time. I'm not sure what message you're trying to reply to, but I hope if you take a break, it'll come to you. I'm gonna go ahead and dig in here to the clicky clacks. My ex messaged me and I don't know how to tell her that I'm always going to love her. Oh, Amaya, it's hard. It's hard with relationship stuff. Just be honest. That's all you can do, is just be honest. Speak from the heart. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get quiet. I'm gonna stretch a little. And we've also got a save alert from Pi, so save your work, and I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna get started so I have work to save. Maya, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. Good luck with your workday. Feel like I'm in slightly the wrong position, but then again, I've pulled like every muscle in my body recently, so who knows. You guys get quiet during the sprints. I like to think that you're getting tons of work done. I hope that's happening for all of you. If you eat bread and ham and cheese separately, your stomach still thinks you had a sandwich. There. It all goes to the same place. brush my tooth with my Corfy. Hey, Scotty, I shall do that stretch at the end of the sprinty sprint. How's it going? I'm exhausted. Who knew waking up would be so exhausting? Man, a bunch of us are feeling that today, Scotty. Did you not have a good sleep? Was reading last night and someone died but came back to life and I cried for 2 hours. What book were you reading, Scotty? The Metahuman Files. Dang. I may have also spent some time crying over a book yesterday. Full disclosure. But I wrote it, so I have only myself to blame. It's my second read through, and I guess my brain completely forgot about that part. I mean, of course, it's sad. Why would you hold on to the sad part? I've never killed a character and brought them back to life. Innocent face. It was 2 hours of full ugly cry. Oh, Scotty, I'm sorry. But no wonder you're so tired. All those emotions. All those emotions running through you. I was like, they just found true love finally, and you want to do this, and then you bring them back? How can you do this to them and me? 'Cause it's a good story. Ooh, timer's almost done. Alright. End of the first sprint. That brings us to 1,530 words. The random French accent on the end. Look. Sometimes I do date. Sometimes I do date. I believe we have a stretch from Scotty. Let's do that. Let's do a nice little stretchy stretch. Stretchy stretch. You know, towards the end, it happens again to another character. I wish this author did write more for it. Well, I mean, it must be a good story if you've come back to read it again. So here we are. End of the first sprint at 1,530 words. It's going well, I think. Basically, the characters are reacting to what happened at the end of the last scene, which was a big reveal. Second read through 1 year apart. Normally it's either right after the first read through or within the same week. Dang. I guess it ruined me the first time. Yeah, you needed time to recover and forget that you needed time to recover so that you could read it again. Man, I was reading through because yesterday I kind of talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the stream, but yesterday I was reading through the penultimate book of the Celestial Serenade, the new Celestial Serenade trilogy, to get the edits, and I had forgotten like the majority of what happened in the book. The goal is to set aside a book for a year essentially and look at it with new eyes, but I was really looking at it with new eyes because there were so many things where I was like, dang, I didn't remember writing this. I didn't remember this happening, but it's so good. Literary Eclipse, hello, welcome back. Came in and read through my chapter for the last 10 minutes. Heck yeah! I hope it's going well. I can't find my cheap bulk dot grid notebooks. I was going to swap the inserts in the notebook my friend got me for Christmas for those, but I can't find them. They'll turn up, sardonisms. I know the feeling though, because I bought some extension cords recently and I have not been able to find them. I bought little like USB extension cords for my computer and they've vanished into our house somewhere and I haven't been able to find them, and it has been annoying me. There's only one other series that has ruined me so bad it took me a year to pick up a book and read it again. Which series was that, Scotty? I was wondering why the timer still had 26 minutes left, but my browser froze! Oh no! Peter! Welcome back! When you forget the crimes you commit, why do you assume it was all crimes? There's some really good drama in there, Key. I will not be sorry for telling a good story. I will not apologize for telling a good story. If it makes me cry, I cry at the drop of a hat. But still, if it makes me cry, it's gonna make somebody cry. Throne of Glass, the last book really did a number on me. I've heard of that one, but I haven't read it. No, you're on your own for crimes, Peter. If I'm the adult supervision, crimes aren't happening on my watch. He was accusing me of emotional crimes, but you know what? I don't apologize. I don't apologize for telling good stories. Throne of Glass is so good, but also so mean. I haven't read that one. They're doing a dramatized audiobook for the series, and I want it now, but the last book in dramatized version, I think, maybe admitted to a word after that. Oh no! Never got past book 1. I don't remember which, well, I've never read them, so I don't remember which one that is. What's it about? What's that one about? I'm like so far behind on, I'm like 10 years behind on my reading list, so if it's come out in the last decade, I probably haven't read it. Oh my goodness. Alright. I'm going to, it's older than a decade, I think. Okay, well then I'm farther behind then. How am I doing today? I'm doing pretty good. It's Thursday. I'm vibing. There's been a lot of heavy work this week. Just a lot to do. And today is hopefully going to be a slightly lighter work day, which I'm looking forward to. 2012, really. So yeah. And I should show you guys. I was hoping Joe would drop by, so I could show him this, but he hasn't been around. But I've been working on some details for his Gengar. And so all of this part down here, all of these lines, all of like the eye outlines and stuff, I did all that from my brain. I'm not following a pattern here. All of this detail work on these various Pokemons were mine. It took me like 6 tries to get this guy's eyes, but look at his little fangs. He looks so adorable. So I've been doing these details on the Gengar. I'm almost finished with this. I'm trying to decide if I want to put eyes and a mouth. I kind of want to do the same thing I did for these guys, so outlines of the eyes and a mouth for the big guy. But I haven't entirely decided yet. So much of this pattern has actually come out of my brain. I've modified this pattern so heavily, but I'm really happy with it. So hopefully Joe will like it. Got the ponies on the go. It'll be excellent. We do got the ponies on the go today. Couldn't make it through Air of Fire. I only really liked Assassin's Blade. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna run to the washroom. I'm gonna reheat my coffee. And then we're going to switch over to space. Sardonisms, do you want to stay in the house and have space be static in the background? Or do you want to switch to the train and have a space train? Let me know. Also, if someone would like to redeem why can't I talk today? If anyone would like to redeem a spirit companion or a specific activity, those are in the down below. You can go ahead and redeem one, and I will be right back. I'm back. Peter, I hope when you say I was today years old when I learned Chuck Tingle was a real person and not a character Megan created, I hope that's not true. But Chuck Tingle is a real person. That I had nothing to do with. Creative one, hello, how's it going? I gotta scroll up. You guys have said so much. Todd the Green Melody. We will hang out with him on the train. My sister loves the series, so I'm thinking of trying to make it through the series for her. That's cool, but also, if you really don't like it, don't force yourself. Life is too short to read stuff that doesn't resonate with you. I learned that the hard way. It's been a series I dropped because I don't care enough to continue. I have too much else to read and no drive to find out what the rest of the story is, but I like graphic audio, so I might give that a shot. Fair. The big thing about reading is the type of story you're reading needs to fit the state of mind you're in. Very true. I just DNF'd Silo because it was not doing it for me. And I don't think I'll go back to the series. But I gave it a try. Definitely, it was partly the story not for me. Couldn't buy into the ultimate twist. But also the tone just was not working for me at this point in my life. Moving mine from Scrivener to Google Docs because I could tell my computer was going kaput. Oh no, did your computer die, Creative One? It seems like there's a lot of that going around lately. I thought it was just a parody pen name. I didn't realize he writes legit books until I stumbled on one on Libby. Most of his stuff is, you know, erotic comedy and satire. But he doesn't have a couple of books that are, like, actual serious books. So, and I think they're more recent, but he does have some actual serious books. I now own up to book 7 of the Oravalia Chronicles. Faded Stardust, thank you so much. Did you grab them as ebooks or physical books? I think Megan may have invented Chuck Tingle. I definitely did not. He invented himself. What are the chances of your books getting audio books? We're working on it. I'm working on it, but I need somebody to narrate them. I say this all the time. I don't have time to record them myself. I do have somebody who's potentially willing to do it. I need to get in contact with her because she wanted to do a test, and I just have not had time to set that up for her. So hopefully sometime in March I can get her set up to start recording. Although also she keeps saying that she's going to retire from her current position and then not doing it. So I don't know how much time she has for it, but we'll see. I don't know if you ever encountered a show called Red Dwarf while you were in the UK. I am familiar with Red Dwarf. Haven't seen it, but I am familiar with it. One of the co-creators passed away today. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I get a little defensive when I feel like I'm being told what to read because historically I don't like what I'm told to read. Unless I'm told in the context of me saying, I want a book like X, and then them saying, try Y. Fair. Totally fair. My computer has been dead for a year now. My flash drive has everything. Wow. Creative One. I'm sorry that your computer died a year ago, but I'm glad you had everything backed up. I have quite meticulous backups as well. The first time I ever heard Chuck Tingle's name being mentioned was when Megan mentioned The Pounding in the Beehole. I think that was his first book, or at least his first really popular book was Pounded in the Butt by My Own Butt. It is a lady who is going to be... It's my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law wants to try doing narration, but she doesn't know if she'll be good at it. She's worried that it won't sound good, so she wants to record a test and see if you guys like it. And then if you guys like it, she'll try recording them. That's what we talked about. Ebooks, but I can't find a way to get them as EPUBs. If Amazon really did enable that as an option, I'm blind because I can't find it. You're supposed to be able to download them as files now. I have opted in. I don't know if I have to re-opt in. But we can touch base on that after stream. Peter, you never got back to me. You have to answer my question. You have to tell me how much you cost. Okay, let me do a quick switch because we are going to the train. And I think we're already in space. Let's switch back to moi. And did we pick a yes? Whale boy. And then for an activity, let's go outside, because I think we'll see this map better if we're outside. And let's do gaming, because this boy's cute when we game. Okay, let me pause this for 1 second. From what I read, you're supposed to be able to go into the Kindle app, and if an author has opted into not having DRM, which I have, very specifically, you're supposed to be able to have an option to download the file. Or maybe it's on Amazon. Maybe if you go into your devices, there's supposed to be a part where you can download it from there. But there's supposed to be a way that you can now download files for authors who have disabled DRM, and then have them as EPUB files without DRM on them, so that you can put them on another device. Now, I don't know for sure if I need to go back through all of my... Oh, wow. You really did buy all of them. Wow. Thank you! Holy shit. I don't know if I have to go back through... Sorry. Not that I disbelieved you. I just opened up my Kindle dashboard to check something else, and I saw orders had come through, and I'm not used to seeing that number on any given day. So I was like, oh my god. Sorry. I hope that didn't come off as me not believing you. That was just me in shock. So I don't know if I have to go back through and re-opt into all of the files. So I recently re-uploaded, starting with Words Beyond Reason, which I think is... This is what I opened it up to check. Or maybe it was... So I think starting with book 5, they should all be opted in on the new system, and before that they were opted in on the old system. So if you can download the new ones but not the old ones, then I'll know that I have to go in and re-opt into it. And if I don't need to, I don't, basically what I'm saying is I don't know if I need to click the button again, or if because I've already clicked the button, it's fine. So if you're able to go in on your Amazon account, what you might be able to do is go into your Amazon account and go to, like, there should be a place where you can manage your ebooks and see if you can download them from there. And if you can download the new ones and not the old ones, I might have to opt in with the old ones again. But otherwise, all I know is that there's supposed to be an option for it now, and I'm 100% opted in. But you already know that you can message me on Discord and we can figure it out after. Hang on, let me catch up on chat now, and then we'll let the sprint start. My boyfriend does a lot of voice acting on his streams anytime he's in a game without spoken dialogue. Heck yeah. If you're able to place it on your PC, you can use Calibrate to convert them to EPUB. You should already just be able to download them. Amazon made a change in January, and you are supposed to be able to download your books as EPUBs as long as an author has opted into being DRM free. And all of my books should 100% be DRM free. I'm going to be in a recovery center all of next week, and we'll need reading material. Fair. It's a weird convoluted thing to download them, and then if there's DRM, there's extra steps, but anyway. There shouldn't be... The way it's supposed to work is that if the DRM is enabled, you shouldn't even be able to download them as files, but if you can download them as files, they should be DRM free. Amazon is being Amazon here. Most of my reading bouncing back and forth between audio and eyeball reading, and the Kindle assistive reader is unbearable. I have a TTS app that works with EPUBs that is not unbearable, but anything I can't get as an EPUB loaded into that app just goes down the list of how likely I am to read and when. Fair. Shun the non-believer! Yeah, just message me. You know I'll take care of it, Faded Stardust. All I'm saying is, the main thing I'm saying is, I've tried to set it up so that you can download my files without DRM. I certify that all of my files have been opted out of DRM. I very specifically do that every time I upload it, and it now makes me confirm it every time, because it's like, hey, your files aren't gonna have DRM, they're gonna be downloadable, and I'm like, yes, I know, that's what I want. Carly, thank you so much for 21 months of subscription, and welcome in, my dear. How are you? But anyway, just as a general knowledge for all y'all, if you're trying to buy my books, they should be DRM free, and if for some reason they're not, let me know. But Faded Stardust, we will get you settled after stream, 100%. Eepy, we're all eepy today, man. There's gotta be something in the air. Everyone who's come in here today has been like, I'm tired. Manage your content and devices, books, find the book. If it allows you to download it, that's where I think it should be. So it's like on your Amazon account. That's where you would send it to a device if you had a device hooked to your Amazon account, and you should just be able to get it to email you a file. Oh, you had a concert last night. Carly, how did it go? I gotta let the sprint go now. This is one of the reasons why I figure if you buy my book, you have a right to read it in any format you want, and I'm totally fine with it. Are we moving? Is this actually moving? I turn up the train speed a little. I was like, is the train going? Okay, the train should be going now. Just okay, Carly. I bet you were amazing. I did pretty good, but the overall concert was okay. Well, any any reason why it was okay, but also you're the one I care about and you did amazing. So that's the most important thing. To me. It seems to be enabled for all but the first two. I don't know why 3 and 4 are there, but 1 and 2 are not. I may have to re-opt. I will hit you up after stream, Faded Stardust. I know you have the first one. I can hit you up with the second one, and I will go in on the back end. It sounds like what I have to do is slowly go back through all my books and re-opt in, which is annoying because I have so many, but I will do it for people to be able to download them. I'm guessing that they want me to confirm that I wanted my books to be DRM free, even though I put them as DRM free in the first place. Ugh. But thank you. And I'm glad you found them. Now we know where they are. So they're in where Scotty said. The dude I messaged you about last week, he stressed me out and ruined some pieces. Oh no! Carly, I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, it's to his own detriment, right? Like, if he messed up his stuff that he was supposed to do, that's on him. Like... Okay. Weird, because I know I re-uploaded that one recently. But okay. Alright. Actually, no, I didn't re-upload that one. Because I didn't have a thing to link to it yet. Okay. I have to re-opt. Amazon! Are we fighting this man? Yes, Peter. Old-timey boxing. Oh, yeah. Vilwraith! Hello! Faded Stardust, thank you, though. Seriously, I have been wondering the whole time if I needed to re-opt all of my books. And it now appears that I do, which I'm frustrated about, but at least I know. At least I know now that I need to go back and re-opt in all of my books. It's... Carly doing the library shush. Shh, this a library. Forget how I was gonna finish the sentence. Why? I just realized you're only on your second sprint, but you've been live for 2 hours. We usually talk for about half an hour beforehand, and it took me about 15 minutes to make my coffee and grab a new tissue box. Have to take a nap. My head is killing me, and my meds haven't kicked in. Have a good rest of your stream. Literary Eclipse, it was so good to see you. I hope you have a wonderful rest, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Hey, Rai, how's it going? Key, I will don the octopus during the break. Just woke up! Well, I hope you had a good sleep, right? Because everyone's been eepy today. Wish I slept until my alarm at 4:30, but whatever. I'm ready to WoW for 24 hours. Is there any particular reason why you're WoWing for 24 hours? Using the right name for this character. I'm not. New expansion drops at 6. I see. I wondered if that was the case. Well, good luck, Rai. Good luck. finished the first scene. The sprint's almost done, so that's good because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do next. Trying to decide how in-depth I want to be about this plotline, because I could go all in, and then this will be so stupidly long. Or I can rein it in a little bit. I can hold back a tiny bit and make it a slightly more reasonable length. Choices. Choices! Alright, so that brings us to 3,043 words at the end of 2 sprints, and a decision that I have to make about how to proceed with this plot. I owe Key an octopus. Octopus engaged. Octopus arrived. Sorry, I was reading something that Key sent me. Oh, Faded Stardust, do you know what the thing is? It's mean. It's mean. Please confirm that you're ready for me to be horribly mean to you. And make sure that it wasn't intense love that you wanted instead. Alright, alright. Fuck you, Faded Stardust, and shut up. Carly! Why? Why do we all want me to be mean? Fuck you, Carly, and shut up! There you go. Just... because I hate myself. Oh, Carly. Don't make me throw in a I love you, you dumb bitch. That's supposed to be a redeem. Hey, as long as you know what you're getting. As long as y'all know what you're getting and you're happy with it. That's it. Carly, I love you, you dumb bitch. And I always will. Striker, I've never seen the side of you. Mad Lad, they made me do it. They made me. I have to give them what they want. For those that don't know, because I think we have so many new... It's funny because that's probably so out of context for the new people. The Say the Thing redeem came about because Cauliflumps had enabled some form of modding, like auto mod on his Twitch chat, where if he said swear words, it would like automatically turn them into asterisks. So like if he said ass or fuck or whatever, it would show up, and I think shut up did it too. It would show up as like just stars. So we were in the Winds of Chaos chat setting up. I was guesting during one of my guest periods. And we were talking in the Twitch chat, and he kept being like, it's censoring stuff, it's censoring stuff. So we found a we found a setting, and we were like, try this, and then we needed to test it. So he was like, okay, test it. And so I said in the Twitch chat at Cauliflumps, fuck you and shut up. And then nobody had context for it. Nobody had context for why I said that. And so Twitch chat was like, whoa, Megan, what are you doing? Collie instantly jumped on it because of course he did. We can have some pickles for the next sprint. Absolutely. Woodgate, welcome in. I feel like everyone's either writing their new book, coursework, or fan fiction. This fan fiction is for the community because they helped me pay for my new computer a while back, which has now gone on the fritz. Although, hopefully we're past the fritz. We're hopefully past the fritz. But we are indeed writing some fun fan fiction, which will go up on this website for free. I believe you guys can read the first, I think it's the first 6 chapters now? You can read the first 6 chapters, first 6 episodes, which is actually 12 chapters, on my blog, in case you're interested. And it features that grumpy little elf down there, but as a pony. And he hates me for it. Working on also doing artsy crafty book journaling stuff. Heck yeah. I am going to take a quick break. This will be our last break. I'm going to hope that while I'm AFK, it comes to me what I should do with the next portion of this chapter. Because I actually, for once, finished writing a scene in fewer words than I anticipated. So I need to figure out what the next thing is going to be in this story. I'm not technically writing a book, but I'm plotting one. That counts as writing. That counts as writing. I'm supposed to be editing my paper, but I decided to take the day off. Carly, you deserve a day off. You've been working hard. You've been working fucking hard. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. We do have a spirit companion redeemed for the final sprint, but if anyone would like to redeem a location or an activity, please do. Otherwise, I will just choose. We might continue to hang out on the space train. Who knows? And yeah, I will pause the timer while I go wash a room, and I will be right back. Sorry about that. A package was delivered, and I had to go grab it. Carly, enjoy your nappy. And enjoy your day off and your relaxation. You deserve both. We'll be back. I think I decided what to do with the next scene as well, so that is good. Tell us about the scene. So, basically, without spoiling too much, Domerin and Crescent have had to travel through time to try and fix a problem. They thought that they went to a time period like 3 days before when they left, but they actually went way back in time to the beginning of their kingdom's formation and screwed it up. So now they've had to go back to fix their screw up. And so it turns out that potentially one of them has assumed the role of a historical figure. And so they've run into a problem where they need to know what's happening in the present and if they've fixed things. But they can't both leave because now one of them is a prominent historical figure who needs to stick around. So I think the other one is gonna try to go back without taking the means of like adjusting the portal, and it's not gonna work. And they're gonna realize that either they have to both leave at the same time, or one of them has to essentially abandon the other for a time period. Also, Woodgate, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the vibe. So this is gonna essentially be the realization that they either have to work blind and not know what's happening in the future, or they have to leave each other, essentially. Strand one of them into the past, potentially. Need to finish plotting 2 stories and start 3. More? Like 3 in addition? That's a lot of work, Dale Wraith. That sounds like a lot to work on at one time. Key, I hope your day is going better today. I hope things are being a little bit more smooth and friendly to you versus yesterday. Try to get my tentacles to be all tentacly. They come unspun sometimes. Gotta respin them. So if you go over to megancutler.net, that website right there at the top, if you hit exclamation newsletter, it'll take you to the website, but to the newsletter specifically. But if you head over to megancutler.net, you'll find my blog right there on the front page. And all of the ones marked My Little Domerin with the little picture of Domerin as a pony are the freebies. You might have to scroll back a bit to find the first, the initial chapter. I'm getting ready to write a table of contents that will have links, and hopefully make it a little easier. Or if you click on the My Little Domerin tag in the most recent of the My Little Domerin posts, it will take you to just the My Little Domerin writing prompts, and you can go back to the first one and read it. And I think there are the first 5 or 6 episodes have already been posted, and there's lots of little cameos of fan characters not fan characters, community characters in there as well that were suggested and purchased by the community during the drive, the fundraising drive that led to this project existing. It's just a fun little silly freebie for you guys and for my blog. So you can read it there. All of it will be posted for free. None of this particular story will go behind a paywall. So you'll be able to see it every other week. A new portion of the story gets posted. Every other week I do a blog, and then every other week I do a freebie alternating Mondays. There's tons of freebies on there. I think I just hit the 6-year mark of posting freebies, which is pretty cool. So I'll go back and post some highlights soon. Why though? What if I didn't? What if I chose not to? I should get rid of this redeem. Should get rid of it. I actually don't like running these at my computer. Oh god. I have a bell, and now I'm Ephema. I have 11 stories threatening to be 12, and 3 of them do not have plot blurbs. 2 have partial blurbs, and the rest have enough plotted out that I could write on them after the first one is finished. The sardonisms, I take it that because you redeemed this voice and then redeemed the intense love, that you would like Ephema to give you intense love. So I'm going to do that for you right now. Sardonisms, I love you, you dumb bitch. You're amazing. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, we love you. Signed, Ephema, the Woods Witch. Oh my goodness. I hope that you all are enjoying whatever this insanity is. I do feel like this week has been particularly weird. Like, just, you're welcome, sardonisms. I figured. I was going to ask, but then I was like, no, that had to have been deliberate. This week does feel like it's been particularly weird, and wild. Maybe it's just because I had a book release on Monday, and book release lead-ups tend to be very hectic, and a lot happens during that time. But this week does feel like it's been kind of frantic, and I'm looking forward to the winding down portion of this week, where we all get to relax and do some things that aren't work. I might try to finish Beacon Pines. I've been playing the game Beacon Pines, and I might try to finish it this weekend. It's a very good little narrative game. I thought it was going to be a cozy game. It's not cozy, but it's a very interesting narrative game, and I might try to finish it this weekend. But for now, I'm going to hush up, and I'm going to finish this act. Uploaded to my map annotations and notes that I've taken to the screenshots channel of the Discord. Hell yes. I will look at those after stream. If only we could combine more redeems. I don't know how. I guess I should take this off too, actually. It's been a lot of minutes. My goodness. I'm going to stop there. Pretty happy with how this turned out. We are at 4,591 words, so just shy of 4,600. I am very satisfied with that. I will, of course, let the final timer run out before we end stream, but we will very shortly be heading on our way. Man, I love when the cat plays with the yarn. I like this map, but sometimes it feels like it's like a really empty... I guess space would be really empty, but Pickles is cute with his yarn ball. I like his little toe beans. His little toe beans. This is going to freeze for just 1 second while I pull up my Firefox. He does look so happy. I think they really nailed the cat animations, honestly. 90% of the people that I usually usually rate for productivity streams are playing games today, which is I'm happy for them, but I feel like there's something in the air. I feel like there's something in the air today. Everyone does just seem to be done today. I don't I don't know. I don't know why. Also, I feel like everyone's on the verge of wrapping up. So we could go hang out with the Simple Sprinkle. We haven't rated Simple Sprinkle in a while. Let me see if it looks like they're gonna be doing a couple more palms. I have to sit through ads first. Overcooked at least. There must have just been something about this week. You know what though? February is a short month. It's a short month, and I feel like it just gets to a point where it's like you gotta fit in a full month in 28 days. Chop, chop, chop. Cannot actually see. Oh, it looks like they're gonna be going for at least a little while longer. So yeah, I think we'll head over and say hey to Simple Sprinkle. I see a lot of people using this bongo cat thing, and I need to try it. I added it to my Steam, but I haven't actually tried it yet. Because I'm editing. But then on days when I'm writing, I forget to pull it up and test it out. So yeah. They're AFK at the moment, so I'm gonna stall just a tiny bit to see if they come back, but also, I do gotta go eat some lunch foods. So, yeah, final word count today, 4,591. Happy with that. Very pleased. Kind of, again, in between. I won't be working on My Little Domerin next week, so it gives me some time, but I have to decide how in-depth. I'm writing a My Little Pony fanfic, so I don't know how in-depth I want to go into, like, a war plot line, but also I want it to feel satisfying because there was a lot of build-up to this point, so we'll see. Quick, bad for time. What sort of lunch foods will you be eating? The other day, I made a delicious chicken and stuffing in the crock pot, and I will be eating my leftovers of that today. Just a quick, simple heat up. Because I'm going to make some mac and cheese in the crock pot for this evening, and I'll have to throw that in. Probably what I'll do is I'll eat lunch and then throw that in. So I want something quick and easy for lunch, because I'm going to spend some extra time on dinner. So that will happen. That will be happening. Ooh, leftover spaghetti and meatballs today. Another delicious meal. Pickles is a sweet baby and deserves to be happy. He is, and he does. Oh my goodness. I guess while we're waiting to see if Simple Sprinkle returns, we might just do a chair raid, honestly. But while we wait to see if they return imminently, now I want Chinese food. No Chinese food was mentioned. But I don't blame you. Chinese food is delicious. What was I saying? Yes, the spiel. This is my last stream for the week. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. This is my last stream for the week, so this is it for me. If you're looking for more of me, you can catch me over on It's Swift's channel on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. PST for Cozy Chaos. I'll either be playing Beacon Pines or I'll be playing Tavern Talk. I'm trying to finish those games. I also want to get back into Tiny Bookshop, though, so we'll see. A succulent Chinese meal. The meme was triggered in my head. I see, I see. I miss the fried lotus roots I ate when I lived in China. We don't fry lotus roots too much in North America. I didn't even know that that was a thing. I've learned something today. When we were in Belize, we ate Heart of Palm, and I think I've only ever had it one other time outside of Belize, but it was so good. So good. So anyway, that's where you can find me. Normally, I would say I'll be back Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, but I don't know. Next week is kind of a little up in the air. I'm expecting to feel a little bit under the weather next week, so I'm gonna wait until Monday before I post a schedule. I might try to squeeze in a stream on Tuesday, but if I feel super dumpster fire on Monday, then I might not, because... So, keep an eye on the Discord. There definitely won't be 3 streams next week. I'm sure I won't feel up to doing 3. But I might try to do 1. Otherwise, I promise, as usual, I'll take care of myself. If I feel super gross, then I will just take it easy, and we'll be back the week after that with more of this. So, why am I hiccuping? So keep an eye out for that. On the Discord, and of course it'll suck if I don't see you guys next week, but I mean, we all do our best. We all do our best. I've read about so many foods while reading Danmei that I would love to try. I also have read about a lot of foods just in books in general that I would love to try. Redwall, I'm looking at you. They're so good. Crispy tubers when fried. Heck yeah. Thank you for hanging out, Mad Lad. I feel like we didn't get to talk much today, but I assume that's because you were busy getting some work done. Faded Stardust, good luck next week. Please do check in with us on the Discord and let us know when you return and when you awaken and return from your surgery, because of course we want to hear from you. We will be sending good thoughts. Simple Sprinkle is still AFK. But let's just head over there. I am sure they will return, and we've raided them before, so we know that it's a nice, chill place to hang out. Also, the number of times I have been AFK when raided. I need to be willing to do the same from time to time. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I know it's been a crazy week. I know I've been late a lot and just kind of all over the place for no particular reason except that it seems like it's in the air this week. So please take care of yourselves. Remember to eat, to sleep, to drink, to get up and move around from time to time, to take your meds. Don't sit too long in the same position. Stretch those muscles. Get yourself taken care of. Get it taken care of. Yeah, not even in feral mode, just one of those weeks, I guess. I look forward to hanging out with all of you again soon. I appreciate you so much. And until then, I just hope you have tons of creativity and productivity and relaxivity and all the ivities that are good. Only the good ones. Take care of yourself, guys. We'll talk again very soon.